Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining Discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self-improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We will also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 110 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days out of the year this year, all outside bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,250 miles within that time frame. This is only my second year ever running. Within the first year of ever running, in 2020, I was able to run about 175 days, and within that amount of days, I was able to run 1,001 miles. So this will be a 25% step up in the amount of miles I'll be running this year, as well as a 100% step up in the amount of days. Like I said, today was day 110. It is April 20th, 2021. Today I got out there, only put in 3.6 for the day. It was snowing, nothing too crazy. It is actually kind of starting to stick, though, on the grass a little bit more and on certain places, but nothing too big. Wore some winter gear because it was nice here the last few weeks, and now it's Michigan, so it doesn't matter how far into the year you can get. You can expect snow sometimes any day. So it was snowing today. Got out there, got 3.6 in for the day. Pretty good pace. I think I ended it at like a 9:20 pace or something. So felt good. That put me at 7.4 miles for the week, being Tuesday. Not too bad start off for the week. I try to get a bare minimum of 25 miles per week because that would put me at 1,000 or 100 miles per month. And to hit the 1250 goal, I have to average just over 100 miles per month. So a 25 mile bare minimum per week is what I'm trying to go for and trying to, bare minimum get. But the goal is usually around 33. So right now we're sitting 25.5 miles out from the goal of 33 miles for this week. I might even try to pump out a little bit more. Last week and the week before I pumped out, last week 35, the week before I think I pumped out just under 38. I think that was the most I've ever pumped out to in a week. So I'm really, I might try to really push it here, especially trying to get ready for these races I have coming up, which I'll talk about here in a second. But that being said, I told you I've been trying to average at least 100 miles a month in order to hit my yearly goal. And, so far, we've been able to do that every month. So we've been able to... She's a little fussy, guys. I'm sorry here. So far, we've been able to surpass the 100 miles every month and hit the goal. We were doing it... I realized that since I would have to hit 100 miles every month, that I might as well do it for charity every month. So I do a 100-mile challenge every month for charity, and in January, February, and March, we were able to raise money for 3 different charities. American Cancer Society, the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network, as well as Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Now we're sitting here in April, and we are raising money and awareness for autism by raising money for Autism Speaks. If you'd like to donate to this fundraiser, you can find the link to donate to this fundraiser on the Defining Discipline Instagram and Facebook story, as well as my personal pages, Instagram and Facebook story. There'll be a little banner in the middle of the page that says April 100-mile challenge fundraiser for Autism Speaks. At the top, it'll say donate on Facebook. You click on that donate on the Facebook thing, it'll open up another page on Facebook where you can make your donations. Now, I know times are tough, but know that every donation goes a long way. $1, $2, $5, $40, $100, whatever you can make, it goes a long way. So If you can only make a small donation, don't feel bad. Don't think, oh, I don't want people to see that I only made a small donation. It helps out, and it's not about what other people can see. It's about what you are doing to help out people who are in need. So if you guys can, please make any donations. But again, I do know times are tough, so if you cannot afford to make a donation right now, the best thing you can do if you still want to help out is to share this fundraiser on your Facebook, on your Instagram, so other people that you're friends with who I may not be friends with or who may not follow the page will be able to see it. They'll be able to maybe think, hey, I want to donate to this. So let's just try to spread awareness and just spread the idea of the fundraiser so people will be able to see it, and we can make and raise some more money for Autism Speaks here in the month of April. That being said, my monthly miles for April, I'm sitting here now at 96 miles, 20 days in. So we're going to probably really surpass this 100-mile mark here within the next run or the next 2 runs. We'll see how I feel tomorrow, if I'm going to pump out just another 3.6er or if I'll do a little bit longer just to break that 100-mile mark. Other than that, though, guys, the mileage for the year, where we are sitting currently, the goal is 1250. We are currently now sitting at 460.9 miles for the year. So really stoked about that. I'm ahead of schedule. On here it says, I think I'm about 84 miles ahead of my plan. So that's a good rate that I'm going at, and very, very excited about it. Other than that, though, guys, let's kind of creep right into today's episode 110. It's going to be a follow episode from 108 and 109. 108 being past, 109 being present. I'm assuming you guys can guess what 110 is going to be. And the theme for today's episode 110 is going to be future, guys. And I want to talk about future because it's something that, one, I never, for the longest time, really took into account and never really thought of or tried to build for. So it was something that I always lacked. But it was also something that I always found myself imagining and anticipating and couldn't wait for, but never really finding myself making any progress for it. So I want to kind of talk about that. So first being the idea that for the longest time I never really thought about my future. Yesterday we talked about present and we talked about past the day before. I have lived in both of those realms very, very much, where I would live for the day, never thought about, hey, maybe I should save money for tomorrow, or maybe I should do this for the future. I never thought about what I would come across the next few days. It was always just about, today. All right, well, I need money for today so I can eat. So I'll just get money for today. Let's not worry about tomorrow or whatever the case may be. So that was something that I always did. I never really thought about my future. I just always lived in the moment, and not really thinking about your future means you won't have one. That's kind of where I just found myself always going. It just found myself lost and with no goal or potential in sight because I had no aim, I had no future. I never really thought about what I was doing. So that's just one aspect of future. But another thing that I always found myself doing in those times of even living in the moment was thinking about the future, not necessarily by the means I needed to. So I kind of was thinking about the future, but always just like an imaginary future of what I would like or what I would want my life to be like, but without ever taking the steps in the present to get there. So, always imagining myself with a certain car or whatever the case may be. I don't even think I really ever imagined myself with a car. That was just an example. But, thinking, one day my band's going to be huge and this, and this. But putting in work to, I always played shows and stuff, but we put in work, but we never put in the work that that I know we needed to, if we really wanted to, if I wanted to have that future. I let fear overtake the idea of my future, and it's something that I still battle with every day. It's scary. The future is a scary thing. It's an uncertain thing. So you can aim wherever you want to in your future, and you can plan for whatever you want, but that doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to happen. And I think that was something that was kind of really paralyzing me in the state of where to not even go for it, to just if you fail while trying, well, then you fail. But if you fail and you never even tried to begin with, well, then you guess you really never failed, right? I think that was kind of my mentality towards things. But I realize it's wrong. It's a wrong way to live, and I've really been trying to plan out my future and trying to get a 1-year plan, a 2-year plan, a 3-year plan, and figure out where I want myself to be within these next few years, and how I want to try to really build up my life and change my life for the better, and just live for different things. So it's something I really, really, really have been trying to take into account as of late. So I think a thing that we can do, though, too, another thing about future is people can, live too much in the future, the idea of the future, like I just said. They can just plan of something happening the way they want it to, but then they don't, one, take the steps for it to happen that way, or two, they don't realize or face the fact that sometimes things don't always go according exactly to plan. So when things turn out to be different, when the future turns out to unfold a little bit different than they planned, they're not happy or whatever the case may be. So I think living strictly in the future, or living with the idea of the future in your own mind without really considering what you're doing to contribute to that, is a dangerous thing. And just, again, it's a dangerous thing just because you never know where you may end up. It's good to have those aims and to continue to work towards them, but it's also very, very important to realize that sometimes when you're aiming at something, your aim might shift, or things might turn out to be a little bit different than you had planned, and to act accordingly to that, and not to let it get the best of you, or not to think that, possibly don't think maybe you failed because something has came up and changed your trajectory. So I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. Gotta get this baby here fed, so trying to just keep her calm right now. But I want to thank you guys so much for listening. 110 episodes. We are going to round out this 3-day past, present, and future episode tomorrow for episode 111, guys. We're going to have a special episode that's going to kind of just close this little segment out. So really looking forward to episode 111 tomorrow. But I got to leave you today, episode 110, with your daily discipline. And your daily discipline for the day, it is to really think about your future. Maybe you were like me and you never, ever, ever really considered your future. And then the future you did consider, you kind of just, it was kind of more of like an imagination future, just to get you to not really think about it. That was something I found myself doing, like I said, is always having an imagination future of, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire with this, and this, and this. And it just kind of took my mind off of my worries of being broke at the time. Well, one day I'll be a millionaire. I know it. I believe it so much. So, me right now scraping together money to get the time I was smoking, me together scraping money so I don't have to continue to smoke the butts of cigarettes off the ground, so I can buy myself a pack of cigarettes and get myself a pizza roll from the gas station, because that's all I need to survive is cigarettes and a pizza roll. I was living that lifestyle. of lying to myself about Daisy. Just lying to myself about a future that's Daisy, come on. Daisy, go. Lying to myself about a future that I was never going to have just to make myself feel better about the life I was currently living. So that the daily discipline is to make sure you are not doing that kind of situation, and to also really plan out your future. Write yourself out a 1-year plan, a 2-year plan, and to leave yourself a little bit of room for leniency, so when things maybe start to shift and things start to change, you don't feel like maybe you've completely abandoned that plan or your future ideas. So that is your daily discipline for the day, guys. I really wanted you to think about your future, maybe how you are living in an imaginary one, or maybe how you are too afraid to follow one because of the fear of failing at something. Because the idea, again, of a future is, you can believe whatever you believe, but it is definitely an uncertain thing. So it can be very scary. So whatever the case may be, make sure you guys just really think about your future and all aspects of it. And I want to thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. 110 episodes. Grateful to continue to do this. I'm excited to come back tomorrow for episode 111. See how many miles we'll pump out for tomorrow's episode. Other than that, guys, though, stay disciplined. I am your host, Scott, for the Defining Discipline podcast. Make sure you guys give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share on our Instagram, our Facebook, the YouTube, and whatever streaming podcast platform you guys have been listening to us on. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 111. Make sure you guys stay disciplined, and peace out. Say bye-bye. Time to eat.